Welcome to my video. In this video, I'm talking about a convincing proof that the Quran is the words of God. At the time the Quran was revealed, there were two superpowers, namely the Byzantine Empire and the Persians, the Sassanid Empire. In 610, the fire-worshipping Persians, taking advantage of their biggest enemy, a Byzantine internal turmoil, started their invasion attempts. They invaded to Erzurum, Mardin, Diyarbakir, Rafah, Armenia, Syria, Jordan, Palestine, Cappadocia, and continued their work from Cappadocia to Constantinople, that is, today's Istanbul, and reached Kadıköy, Anatolia side of Istanbul. And they began to besiege Constantinople. These events took place in a period of only 5 to 6 years. The Persians destroyed Byzantium and killed 90,000 Byzantines. They removed the cross, which the Christians thought was crucified in Jerusalem, and took it to another place. The polytheists in Mecca were rejoicing over the developments, and were saying to the Muslims, the Greeks, who are your brothers with books, that the Persians, our non-book brothers like us, defeated them. According to what the companions such reported, it is understood that the Muslims supported the Greeks, that is, Byzantium, while the Meccan polytheists supported the Persians. Upon all these developments, around 616, the verses of Surah Ar-Rum about the subject were revealed. While the Greeks are now thinking of leaving Constantinople, while the Greeks are trapped, no one gives a chance to Byzantium, but Prophet Muhammed, S.A.W, who received a revelation from God, says that the Byzantine will be victorious in the war. Besides, he was telling the time. Quran, Surah Ar-Rum 1:7. Alif Lam Mim. The Romans have been defeated in a nearby land. Yet following their defeat, they will triumph within 3 to 9 years. The whole matter rests with Allah before and after victory. And on that day the believers will rejoice at the victory willed by Allah. Allah gives victory to whoever He wills. For Allah is the Almighty, most merciful. This is the promise of Allah. And Allah never fails in His promise. But most people do not know this. They only know the worldly affairs of this life, but are totally oblivious to the hereafter. And when the Quran says between 3 and 9 years, also gives time. Here is a word meaning between 3 and 9. The word translated as a few in some translations. And Quran says it's God's promise. At the time these verses were revealed, the situation of Byzantium was so bad that the Byzantine king was considering moving the government to Carthage today in order to escape from the Persians. On the new coins issued by the Byzantine Empire in 615, it was written that may God help the Romans. Some historians state that this is an expression of the desperation of Byzantium. Persians also captured Egypt in 618. The situation for Byzantium was getting worse day by day. However, in April 622, Byzantine counterattack forced the Persians to retreat as far as Qorum, present-day Ankara, and achieved a crushing victory. In the autumn of the same year, Anatolia was cleared of Persians. In 624 Byzantium regained its lands around Palestine. Byzantium raised the capital of Armenia under the control of the Sassanids. The Byzantines took Armenia and Azerbaijan, then attacked deep into Persian lands and razed the birthplace of Zoroaster. They destroyed the most important fire temple of the Sassanids. The attacks of Byzantium advanced as far as the house of the Sassanid ruler Khosrow. In the 616th, when the relevant verses in the Quran were revealed, Byzantium, which was cornered in despair, made an incredible comeback within 10 years. The Arabic number word between 3 and 9 years is used in the Quran. Thereupon, some of the unbelieving people, that there were Meccan polytheists among them, around the Prophet Muhammed, S.A.W, embraced Islam. When these verses were revealed, the polytheists who made fun of Muslims were mistaken. Byzantine not only achieved a victory against the Sassanids, but also paved the way for the collapse of the Persian Empire. Although the Persians sent their small troops to attack Constantinople in 626 to stop the Byzantine attacks and force them to retreat, this effort could not stop the Byzantines and yielded no results. The Persians were defeated in the Nineveh War in 627, and the Persians offered peace to Byzantium in order not to be destroyed. The 450-year-old Sassanid Empire was in such a bad state after the Byzantine defeat that the Persian Empire collapsed after about 20 years. As revealed in the Quran, Allah's promise has been fulfilled. Surah Ar-Rum 2:6 The Romans have been defeated in a nearby land. Yet following their defeat, they will triumph within 3 to 9 years. The whole matter rests with Allah before and after victory. And on that day the believers will rejoice at the victory willed by Allah. Allah gives victory to whoever He wills. For Allah is the Almighty, most merciful. This is the promise of Allah. And Allah never fails in His promise. But most people do not know. Byzantium had gained an overwhelming victory over the Sassanids when it was in a state of extinction. Allah knows everything. Allah Almighty is eternal, unique, Creator. There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad S.A.W is the servant and messenger of Allah.